So what is it you do? I mean, regarding the magazine and stuff.
No, the magazine,
is that your baby?
Yeah, the magazine is taking 90% of my time now. It's become a full-time job.
And why did you get into that?
I used to write. I always write, and since I remember, to be honest, I've been writing just first for myself. Then my professors at the university, they just said to me, "Listen, put the writing to the newspaper, to the magazines." So I sent them, and they were very gladly to take it. I took one. I sent one, then another magazine came to me and asked, "Would you like to write this one?" And then I did not need to. I found myself suddenly in the situation that I did not need to go and ask people if I can publish something. They were coming to me and just asking if I can write something.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've been doing this long time in Poland. Then I came here. I have my job. I was doing the cash in transit security job. I've been bringing the money to the banks up and down,
fuck that.
and the armored vans, and but I got injured at the job, and I ended up with a few discs on my back smashed and cracked open, and then I ended up on the surgery table.
Fuck.
Could not walk almost 6 months, and I was really. I probably had the depression because I did not leave the house or anything.
Yeah,
I was sitting with the curtain
cabin fever
closed, and just my friend was coming and saying, "Oh, come on, you need to." He was pulling me out, literally pulling me out from the. So then my wife says, "Listen, go back to the writing and do something for yourself." So I sat down and I wrote just small poetry book. I sent it.
You wrote a poetry book.
Yeah. And then,
and
then I sent it, and they took it straight away. Then after maybe 6 months, he came back to me and says, "Listen, we'll go with another one because we sold it all." So I did another one.
You're a published author.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
And then people were asking me. He asked me if I would like to write something about. How to call it, about the literature itself. It's just about the theory of literature or something.
That'd be interesting.
Like this or the philosophical dissertation, something. So I did another one. And then he asked me if I would like to write it in English. So I wrote it in English as well. And then the other fellow came. I used to write for the journal, Poetry and Paratheatre journal in Poland. And he came to me and says, "Would you be up to write the theatrical play?" So I started writing the theatrical plays for him. And then I sat down. I started maybe, it was something in my head, long time when I was even when I was 19. I started to write the book like a novel, but I left the project for the few years just. To digest, to lie down, and then I've been writing this book maybe with the breaks and rewriting it, going back to it. I did not like one of the third of the book, so I threw it out. I rewrite it. It took me almost 20 years to finish.
Right, really.
But I finished it, and it's a very thick book. It's almost 600 pages.
Where can you get this book? Where is it available?
You can get it on the on Amazon and a few other places as well. If you type it, but I published it on the not under my name, just under the
pseudonym.
Yeah, it's Martin Smolich. Because what I figured out. If you publish especially something in English under your name and sound very foreign, not many people are very interested.
Really? I thought it was quite the opposite.
No,
I thought it's because there's a foreign twist on it. People say, "Fuck, I wonder what that's about."
No, but what I found is that there was very small interest. If it was under my name and written in English, then shifted to another name, and then it was like magic wand, like magic touch.
Yeah.
And so I stick to this name. I have 2 books published under this name now.
Very good. Because I find when one of my friends, Jim, he's an artist as well, and he's kind of got that touch. When he wants to sell paintings, he sells paintings. If I want to sell paintings, I can never sell a fucking painting. When my paintings sell, it's usually nothing to do with me. It's because I might have shot them off with galleries online and stuff, or exhibitions, and maybe. But if I was to sit down and think about selling paintings, nothing will happen.
No, you
I
never
just
do this.
I have no interest in doing that. It'd be great if someone else would do it for you, but it's like, look, all I'm interested is getting it out of my head and onto the canvas. Move on. When I have a body of work in at like 40 paintings, I'd say, okay, I'll try to have an exhibition somewhere. But I'm not motivated by selling the painting. I never really was. But if it happened, great. But it was like, it's just a world that it just irritates me. I don't like people who come up, and I like genuine people. If I get a vibe off of someone that they're just not real, I'm just not interested, and I shut down. I'm like, fuck right off. You're wrecking my head straight away, you know what I mean? But so when it comes to making a living out of your gift and your work, that's a great thing.
No, I'm not making the living of it. It's just I barely keep myself afloat. But
you're still at it.
Yeah, but I was very lucky and unlucky with the injury with the back, because I got I wanted to go back to work, but they says no, you need to have a doctor clearance. I went to the doctor. And the doctor, he started checking me up, and he says, "Oh, straight, you have your whole right leg it's just you have a slip foot, and so they says you probably need to MRI and the other stuff. Even after the operation, we have to check you carefully." So they send me for the checkup, and they send me to the government doctors to assess if I ever be able to walk.
Yeah.
And they saw me. They just talked to me a few minutes. They examine me. They look at my papers, and they says, "We're signing you off. You're not walking anymore. You can't walk physically at all. You just go off for the pension, for the invalid pension." So they signed me off for the invalid pension, and I was there. Then after 2 years, I says, "Okay, I'll try again." So I tried to challenge this, and but they says again, no. This and this.
How, in your physical self, how do you feel?
I'm all the time on the painkillers and relaxants.
That's not good.
Yeah, otherwise, cause it's just I can cope. I can walk. I can do the archery. It's helping a lot.
Of course, yeah, moving all the time is gotta be good.
But whenever I find myself not doing anything, or sitting long time, or spending long time, I'm getting very stiff. It's like old rusty.
We all get that, buddy. Christ, I wake up in the morning, I'm like a car crash. Physically, you just, fuck, it's going to take an hour before this loosens up, you know what I mean?
No, but it's I think it's an age thing as well. It's sometimes you just look at yourself and you're finding yourself trapped in the old body.
It's best to avoid doing that, because it's like, it's an inevitability, and if you're going to start fighting inevitabilities like this, you're fucked. You got to just go with what you know and say, what are my limits physically today, and try to push against it a bit.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be fucking killing yourself either. I used to go fucking nuts trying to get fit, and as if I'm going to fucking Olympics or something, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is stupid. I just want to kick around the ball with the kids and not get a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee that'll happen no matter how fit you are. So fuck it. Just do what you're going to do. Have your coffee and your cigarette and watch someone else in the Olympics and cheer them on. But don't be thinking it's very, there's too much emphasis now on being super fit and super clean eating and all this shit. Fuck off. You need a balance. That's all you need. Yeah. Go for a walk, go for a stroll. If you want to run, fucking run. You know what I mean? If you want to play video games, play your video games.
No,
But you got up here is where you got to keep super fit. You know what I mean? And relatively fit everywhere else. Because otherwise you go fucking crazy. I tend to if I get into something, I'm fucking 100% in. Plus. And it can be all encompassing. And I might just block everything else out. It's like, I had a painting on that canvas. And I was at it for about 6 months. It was like all these horses in a field. They were about to go on a hunt and there was a landscape behind them. In my head I was thinking this would be a great paint. But I fucked it up from the start because I got the wrong measurements making up the stretcher for the canvas. And I like to have big, powerful kind of horses there. So now the horses are tiny in stature. So it's all detailed shit. And I'm not that kind of guy. And it was pretty, but there was no energy in it. It was very flat. Flat and pretty is shit. I prefer to have it's like when you get all these singing competitions. You get the perfect singer, but they're boring.
Yeah.
Where you get someone in who's not the best singer, but they got a lot of heart and feeling, and they're just living it. And you're like, I love this one. So with the painting, it was like 6 months in, you have to make a decision. This is really shit. It's really boring. So I just stood up, got some colours, and just went and that's what I came up with. Just went kind of subconsciously at it. And that's what came out. And I said, okay, that's where I'm at. And that's what I want to... And since that painting, I might have finished 2 more, but it's like it petered out. And I'm like, instead of fighting it, instead of chasing it, just let it the fuck alone. It has its process. And once you understand that there's a process to how you will react to your life, you're not so stressed out about it. So I'm like, well, I haven't painted now in about a month or 2. But it's no big deal. Because I have loads of ideas floating around there, and it's like you're editing them in your head before you go to the canvas. Because when you go to the canvas, they're going to change 100% anyway. Because the minute the paint hits the canvas and your vision sees it and the light reacting to it and all that, you can go off in so many different ways, and it's all like quick decision making. So if you sketched out your plan, and you said, this is my plan, this is what I'm going to put on the canvas, and then you do it, it's shit. Because it's stiff, it's got no energy. I like to beat the crap out of my canvas, you know what I mean? I'm standing back and I like to tear into it and get a knife, and I mean this guy was done in no time at all, because in my head I was thinking, I started with a brush and then I thought, no, this isn't gonna work with a brush. So I just got a bit of charcoal, scribbled it out, got a knife, and just went nuts. And it's got way more energy about it, you know what I mean? So I had the same approach with archery when we got to go to the club. And I was like, the first night we were there, and Dave was showing us how to hold a bow and all the things, your form. It's like, this is great. I'm going to be in the Olympics in about 5 years from now. Easy. What an idiot. I was like, I can't fucking shoot the bow. Once you start thinking about it, and it was like, the harder you try, the fucking worse you got. And then it's like, you start getting what you want. And you find it's because you're not thinking as much. You know what I mean? You have a basic to get there. And once you have that down, you kind of just relax into it. And it's just the same as the painting. If you over-plan it, well, that's just for me. I'm sure it's different for everyone. But if I over-plan it, I just fuck myself right up. So it's like finding the zone out is the best thing to do, I find, sometimes.
I think when you do something, whenever it's painting or writing, sculpturing or anything, you have to find your way to what I call is just it's tradition, just like artistic tradition. You need to find your road to it, and you need to surrender to it. Well,
100%.
And that's my understanding.
I like the way you said that, because it rings true. For me anyway, I can identify with that very easily. It's like, fuck, I hear you, buddy. Because you'll have people giving you all the advice. Oh, you should do this, you should do that. And you're like, I'd love to, but I'm not in charge. You know what I mean? When I'm there, sometimes I'm a passenger. I'm just a witness.
Yeah, you're just a vessel.
That's it. A conduit.
Yeah.
And it's like, once you understand that, your ego dies a terrible death. And it's like, okay, but are you brave enough to fucking let it, to go with that? Or are you going to fight it? And I find it's just easier, you're more productive when you surrender to it. You know what I mean? You just got to do it when you got to do it. There's no time frame. There's no, you could be there going to bed around 12 o'clock at night, and then you just get that feeling. So I'll just go and check on something. And you could be there for 3 hours painting. And you don't know what the fuck you're doing. When you go in the morning, then it's like, wow, I love this. Where did this come from? And you gotta it's like, you ever go to sleep and you're in your bed and you're just about to fall off into a deep sleep, but your brain is ticking over and you get this line of words in your head.
Yeah, I have that.
And you have to get up and you have to write it down, because if you say, I'll write that down in the morning. In the morning, there was something, I just don't know what it was. And you can't remember for the love of no money. So you gotta hit it while it's there. I've woken up sometimes in the morning and I've written something on the fucking wall outside my bed. I'm like, what's that? You know what I mean? When you're writing it, it's like, this is the best thing ever. In the morning when you read it, like, oh, you need therapy, kid. This is fucking crazy shit. So it's like, it's like you get a lot of slop at the start, a lot of crazy, uncoordinated stuff, and then you get like a lot of gold, and then near the end you get a lot of crap again, so it's like, it comes in pulses, kind of like that. And at the start, when it's breaking through all this shit, so you think, what is all this I'm drawing or writing or whatever, and it's shit. But then you hit the gold when it breaks through, and you can enjoy like a year of good work, and then it's gone to its end, which is more shit because it's closing up again. And you're like, once you accept that and visualize it in a sense, because I kind of understand that, because you gotta live shit, experience things, and it's like all of that is condensed into various, it could be images or happenstance, and then it's like it goes into the back of your mind, into the factory, and it's been worked on, and maybe 6 months later they push it back at you. This will make a great painting or a great book or a great poem, and then it's like, oh yeah, I got it, and off you go. So it's a funny fucking thing, man.
No, it is, and whatever my experience, whenever I find myself, whenever I push myself to do something, it never turns good.
No.
It just same with the magazine. I got there is a lady in England, and she runs the magazine Field Archery UK. When I was PRO for the club for the League's Archery, she used to ask, can you drop a line about this or this or this? Well, to her, that's okay. Then I start talk to Owen and to other guys, and they said, listen, maybe we do something like this, or maybe we all do here, but we write for her. I said, just hold on. Why can't we do the thing here in Ireland? Why we can't have our own magazine? Why we need to do something for someone else from UK? Don't get me wrong, it's a nice magazine, a nice newspaper or anything, but it's not native, it's not local, it's not here.
Exactly.
You still be doing work on somebody else's terms, on somebody else's vision, so
yeah, you're restricted.
Yeah, you're restricted, and you won't be doing anything like which is really matters for the community here. And I believe whatever you do, whatever you can do for the community, it's very valuable, because
if you can inspire them along, that's a good thing.
So we talk like this, and then we says, okay, we give a try, and we started. The first number was just if you go on the website, but it was terrible.
Well, of course.
And but second one turned a little bit better, and the third one, and then we find out the way to do it. Fourth one turned very good. Not very good, but for that time
And
and for
you're
that stage,
you're
that
improving
very good.
every time.
And then we says, oh, that's the thing we want to do it, and we started to do it this way. Then we developed a lot of things. It was a lot of like admin jobs on the side as well, because if you're running something like this, you need to be careful. So you need to have a publisher statement, you need to have a privacy statement, you need to have the things like guidelines for the authors who wants to do it. It's a lot of things you need to write, and you did not talk yourself, because I've been writing always for somebody else.
Yeah.
So I never even pay attention to these things. And then I find myself within an opposite role, within a publisher role. And then we were thinking what to do, how to do it, what the legal status of this would be. And we just started as a PDF thing on the on the internet. Then people were coming back to us and said, listen, it is possible to get it in the print. We were thinking, okay, we were going to the printers, asking them prices and everything. We have no revenue, no means to get, not at all, because everything was for free. The printing, we started with the 28 copies, and one set of printing for the 28 copies is €250. So we were thinking where to get the money. Okay, it went from my pocket and Owen's pocket. We just paid for it, and then we got a little. We sold maybe 7 or 8 or 12. I don't remember magazines at the beginning. So we got a little bit back, but the other ones were still lying there. But then we put the box like a donation. So we got some old donations. Then we have the donation thing on our site. And then I opened one day, I got the message, you got the €300. Somebody's donated €300, so it kept us going for the next one.
Very good.
So we did not go, and we just, every penny we had, we start just to having on the account and saving. Then we says, okay, but in order to work, in order to keep this like a transparent revenue, so we need to do it as a non-profit. We're all working as on voluntary basis. It's Owen, Andrew Whalen, Matt Latimer, he's up in the north in Belfast, myself, then Laurent from Cork, Lynn Ellingworth from Wexford, and that's it. And that's and Ken Farrell now joins us. But all of us, for me, it's a full job. Sometimes I spend 8, sometimes 10, sometimes maybe 6 hours. But it's everyday labor for me, and I'm only lucky I can do it because I'm on the invalidity pension. Otherwise, I wouldn't be. But actually, so we established CLG company, limited company, with the status, with the constitution and everything. So we have everything cleared there. But there's a lot of things like. You need to do the adminning, you need to fill out the forms at the CRO, you need to have the directors, you need to think about it was all the job around this. It was hundreds of hours of doing, but it turned very good. And now the only thing we have to think is just to have to make a return statement to the CRO every year, and that's it.
And how long is it? Have you been going with the magazine now?
No, it's much better. We got at least like a steady flow for maybe next year.
Well, how long has it been going?
It'll be almost 2 years now.
2 years.
It'll be in October. It'll be 2 years in October. We went now with another idea. We were talking about this long time since the beginning. Maybe we do some shoot, something like a magazine shoot,
Yeah.
just to help the magazine.
I was just thinking that when you were talking, like,
and then maybe a month ago, this thing about the magazine shoot turned upside down, and Owen says to me, maybe we do something different, just to celebrate archery or the pursuit of archery, how he is saying. So I said, oh, that's a good idea. So what about the festival, like archery festival? So we started to probing people, talking.
yeah,
I contacted the local tourist office, Leash Tourism. The lady says to me, oh, it's a very good idea, and I can source you the place. So she started looking, she get back yesterday. We had our good day because we went to the place, we talked to the man, we have a place for the 2 days celebration, we have with the camping facility,
awesome.
with the, how do you call it, with the place for the stalls, and we don't want to run the shoot like more like a fun tournament. So we have project now in head. It'll be with the 2 days, 12 tournaments, 3 group ones, like you have, for example, club representations, 3 people from each club, and then just club games.
Yeah.
3 club games during the day and 3 individual ones. They'll be different. We have a lot of things in mind now, and Andrew is in charge of it.
That'd be a lot of organising.
And another day is as well 3 group ones and 3 individual ones with the prizes.
And whereabouts in the country is that going to be at?
Without the leash, it's a good, very central location. So it's just on the outskirts of Portlaoise. There is there is a man. He has a farm, and it's a bio-sustainable farm with about 30 acres of land, mixed land, woodlands, bog, and a field. So we have a lot of space to do it. We go into even include for the part of it, just the general public to come to see the stalls, to see how it, because it's
educational kind of thing.
Everything is about the celebration of the archery. We have nothing like this in country whatsoever. There's a lot of shows. So I think it's a good idea, and we have set the date as well. The date is 16, 17 September.
This year?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll write that in my book. That's awesome.
The informations are now, I only put them in the morning today on the website. If you go,
you gotta blast that shit all over the internet.
No, we're going to do that. We're going to do that probably today, this evening. But the first thing is there on the
September. What else is on in September? What other shoots are on? It's not going to clash with other shoots, is it?
No, I don't think. And we were looking at the days, all the mine shoots like championship, things like this, they'll be gone.
Awesome.
So I'd say it's a way to go, and
definitely, man.
I think it'll be something new and very interesting to do.
Yeah, of course.
We want to have the styles. We want to have the shops, archery shops. It's all on. It's talking to them probably even now today.
Well, he's the man. You talk. You talk a good talk.
He likes to talk. But he's very pursuing. Whenever he has something in mind.
Yeah.
He is pushing it, but very gradually, very gently, and I very like.
But he's got a very polite manner about him. You know, he's not offensive. You know, you can engage with him very easily. I find. I remember the first shoot I did, first competition I did this year was with Galty, at the Galty Woods, and Owen was on the team. And straight away I thought he was pleasant, very easy to get along with.
Owen is a very good person. He's a very good interviewer as well. It's natural for him to talk.
Yeah,
and
but he's really invested in it as well. It's passion, I find.
No, I think we all have a passion. I think you should ask Andrew Whalen to come. Oh, he's a person.
Yeah, I asked loads of people, but they all say, "Oh yeah, they don't come."
But
artists are the fucking worst. I thought, it'd be a great thing to. I mean, anyone who creates something, you want to. I know what it's like to like. You're not interested in promoting it really most of the time, because you're dialed in on just creating it, and you're thinking about that all the time. So I figured if you came in, we had a talk about it. We're not going to investigate you. We're just having a chat about shoot the shit about being a creative individual and what you do. And if they were to come in, then you put it up on YouTube and all that. But I'd take that extra step in paying money to promote that particular episode. And it's like a little advert of a sort for their work and for their personality.
Yeah.
And I thought people would love to do this. But no, because they're like, is there going to be a camera? Is it going to go on the internet? And once they hear these two things, it's like, oh God, no, I can't do that. And I'm like, I get it. Come on, grow a pair of balls.
Yeah, because
come on to fuck. Time is flying by and you don't get it. You gotta hit it. You gotta do it all the time. Because I'm sure everyone comes to this realization at some point in their life, and it scares the shit out of you because you're like, I'll never sleep in again. I'll never fall asleep on the couch again and enjoy it. Because when I wake up, it'll be broken by the reality of, fuck, I should have been doing X, Y, and Z. What am I doing falling asleep on the couch? Well, because you've been working your balls off for weeks now. And you can get caught up in the momentum of the work and it can just burn you out. Because you can't, it's like you've tunnel vision and you can't stop and say, I need to take a break. Whereas, if I finish a job with the stonework, and I've lined up another one, then if I finish on a Tuesday, I have this one, and I have to start a new one on a Wednesday, that doesn't work for me. What I like to do now is I finish it up, everything is grand, I'll go into the next one the next day, and I'll prep the area, I'll get all the gear that's needed for the job, and then I'll fuck off, and I'll just do whatever I want to do for the day. Because I need at least a day to clear my brain of the last job. And prepare my mind for the next job. I need at least a day, because then I can attack it with the proper energy, as opposed to feel like I've been overworked. That kind of way. Same with the painting. When I finish a painting, I'm like fucking drained. Jesus, that was fun, but I'm wrecked. And you gotta mind yourself, because you will get a burnout. So it's like people say, it's only a painting. Well, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about if that's the way you talk. So it's like you gotta just give yourself a chance to breathe, and usually a 24-hour stint is good. But if you can get a week, it's better. But try to be disciplined about it. Make it 24 hours, and it's fine.
I think it's whatever you do, you just need to do it on your terms.
Exactly.
If you try to confine within a certain boundaries or even time frames, I know. When you work, you have your work schedule and everything. But
loosely.
But whenever you can shift it a little bit, whenever you can make
take advantage of
it more suitable for yourself, it only serves your job. The work quality is much better.
Of course,
service you provide to the people is much better, much easier.
They're not paying me for my time. They're paying me for what I can do.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've had to make. Once I had to make it like a thing but it was like a company, like a construction company, and I'm like, they're like, did you clock in? I'm like, clock in? Get the fuck out of there. I'm not clocking in. I show up when I show up, and I do what I do. I have X amount that I want to get done in a day, and it's more than what you expect me to get done in a day. So what are you complaining about with your fucking bullshit? Clock in. Fuck right off. So, lesson learned, don't do those kinds of jobs, because those kind of people are on a different planet, and their idea of work is completely different to my idea of work. So it's like, we're going to be just grinding each other's brain there. It's just not going to work. It's going to be silly little shit getting my way, and then it's like, you pissed me off, I pissed you off, so let's just not work together. you know. So I love just doing all private jobs, you know, because people are usually surprised what you can do with stone. In that sense, like, so it's like, it's nice when you finish a job and you look at it and you see the way the shadows come out of the stone and whatnot, and it's very rewarding. And the customers then, when they're looking at it, fuck, that's, wow, happy days, you know. So it's good.
So in a word, you find your way, like your artistry way, even in the work you do for living.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
because I couldn't do it any other way. It's fucking, it can be hard, it can be physically hard, and you know, it just, sometimes you gotta travel far to get the jobs, and sometimes you get some really interesting jobs because there's no one else to do, because a lot of people are, obviously they work for money, they just want to get the money. But sometimes when I see a job, I'm like, fuck, this is a very old building and it's in a terrible state. But in my head, I'm thinking, that's a fucking shame, because it's got, there's such potential there. And I'd be like, you know, I'll do it. The lazy party doesn't want to do it because it understands what's required to do it. And I end up doing them, and then when I'm finished, I'm delighted that I did them, because I took the time. And you know, for me, it's like it's like with the painting, it's like you can't plan it. I say, well, this is the stone I have, and I will let the stone dictate how I do this. Because if I try to bend the stone around to my idea, it's not going to be good. But if I just kind of follow the stone and let the stone lead me, so to speak, then it's going to be good. I know it's going to be good. It's going to look good, it's going to work good. So just follow the stone.
I work with wood sometimes, and my wife, she's always laughing at me because she said, if you're so good with the wood, I do the tables, I do the shelves, I do the things like this, but I never plan, I never draw. When I see the piece of wood, I see the 3 pallets, for example, I say, oh, I can do this, or this with it. And then I'm starting and doing it, but then it's getting the shape while I do this. I can have a general idea. It'll be the table for the 6 people or something, or 5 people table, but I'm not very sure how high it'll be, how long it'll be. I just do whatever I have, and then while I work, I can see the vision gets clearer. But whenever I get something from IKEA,
I fucking hate IKEA.
Or anything,
I hate them with a passion.
I can't get my head around this because it's just
fuckers.
I can't understand
fuckers.
when I open the instruction sheet, I always have 2, 5, 7 things left. I have always some screws.
And you need the stupidest fucking. What the fuck is this shit? And then when it's together, it's like shit quality. It's rickety.
Yeah.
I mean, she loves IKEA, my missus, and I'm like, why? Why do you do this to me? And I just fucking hate them. All those little nuts and fucking whatnot. Allen keys. Fuck right off with your Allen key. I want something solid. You know what I mean? None of this dainty bullshit. I want something strong that'll do what it's meant to do without a doubt. It's just a fucking, whenever she's on the IKEA site, I'm like, I have to run out the door.
I remember I got there were people that were extending the attic at our place, so they were doing
turn into
jobs.
a room, like?
Yeah, for the playroom for the children. It was a good idea, and I have a playground literally over there.
Cool.
But then they have their own space. They can do it. They have piles of toys there, and they don't need to clean every day. That's.
And does that work? Do they keep it in that designated area?
Yeah.
Well, we must be doing something fucking wrong, because every day.
Sometimes they bring in toys to the living room, to the kitchen, but then I just tell them that's okay to have them during the day, but before you go to sleep, you go back with them up, and no problem. They bring them up.
Well, fair play, you got very obedient children, because our kids are like fucking wild animals. And it's like you're their butler. Do you know what I mean? You're not daddy, you're the butler. So you put them away. If you want them away, you put them away. And you're fucking walking down the hall, you're kicking things. Like, what the fuck was that? There's shit everywhere.
Now with the children is what I remember myself when I was at age 10 or then I was a teenager. When I was looking at my parents, I only realized that now. When I been looking at them, I never thought about them like a human being. They were parents. They have only one goal, to make the stuff for me. It's almost like you said, like they were serving for me like a butlers or something.
Yeah.
Like a people that need to look after me, care about me, and do the stuff that please me.
Yeah, 'cause you're the king.
You're the king, and I never thought that they could want to see something, or they have the needs like sometimes to rest, or sometimes to do their own stuff. You never think when you're a child. You never think about it. The only things you think is just they serve you. But then you becoming the parent, and you realize very quickly that your children see like you see your one. So it's very sobering. But on the other hand, it was certain moment, not even when I was parent, but I realized that they are separate persons, that they're separate human beings, and
you've ruined all their dreams.
Yeah, no, but I really felt ashamed that time, that because I had still over the head, on my back of my head, the way I treated them. No, I did not treat them disrespectfully or what, but I just, like you said, like butlers, and whenever and then you see them old, you see them, time takes a toll on them. Whenever you see your parents like this, then you want to catch up the time. But sometimes it's too late, because when you're a teenager, you have your friends, you want to go to see the movie, you want to go, I don't know, to dance with them, to anything, and you never think that they need as well your companionship.
Exactly,
your parents, they want you to stay. They want
So
you to spend
you
the
do
day
have
with
your
them.
moments of guilt because you're not doing it, but at the same time it's a fucking tough one, because you got to go and develop and live and do your thing as well. And sometimes they're like, thank fuck they're out of the house, and other times like they never call, they never come by. I mean, I have 5 brothers and 5 sisters, so I'd be thinking like, how the fuck did my parents do it? Because we've only the 2 lads, and I'm like losing my mind on a daily basis. I don't know how herself does it. She's just, I mean, get off the roof, you fucking crows. But it's I don't know, it's a tough one. Parenting is not. See, you can get caught up with being their provider and their best of everything, and you want them to have things you never had and all this crap. But that's all it is crap. What you need to give them is what they need. They need discipline. They need to have manners. But you're losing straight away. Straight off the bat, you're losing, because you and your wife will have different philosophies on how to approach this, and there'll be friction. You know what I mean? And it's just, you find you might be sidestepping situations because there's going to be friction, and so you're learning all over again, and it's you're evolving. At some stage, you should say, fuck it. You know what I mean? Just fuck it. What will be, will be. Everything is already, in a sense, predestined. In a sense, if you watch things the way, if you ever just sit back and watch the world, or even your immediate world for even just a few hours, and just look at it, say, it's got nothing to do with me. They're going to go and do their thing. They have their destiny, and this is just where I am right now. As Bono would say, you're stuck in a moment you can't get out of. But it's where you find yourself to be exactly where you're meant to be at that particular moment in time. You're learning a particular thing, so just get the fuck on with it and try to not overthink it. You know what I mean? I used to be a terrible fucker for thinking. I'd be thinking too much all the time, and it was like, give yourself a fucking break, son. Get drunk, get whatever you get, enjoy yourself. Just get out of your head, because you're just too much thing, especially when you're trying to do paintings, and then you're thinking, I should make it a business, and then people are telling you should, and
No, you never do this.
Then it's like, I know because I tried and I was like, I'll only end up hating it. And I don't want that, so fuck them. The world's not having this. This is mine and I'm keeping it. So you find another way. And then it's like when you accept something, like it's like things just happen faster for you because it's like you're not fighting it anymore. You just say, okay, for whatever reason you didn't do this because you thought X, Y, and Z about it. But now that you've said, well, it keeps coming up, so maybe I should look into this and I'll follow this. As soon as you commit to that, it's like everything gets easier in a sense and things just get better. So it's instead of wanting to be the rock star and trying hard to be the rock star because in society you're supposed to be a rock star, for men anyway, well, you know, I'm generalizing, but that idea, yeah, you go be a rock star, you be great and you die at 27 or whatever, and you're like, no, that's not really for me. I'm over here cutting the lawn on a Saturday. That's where I am. And then once you start doing that, everything is it's just easier. There's just so much fucking nonsense. And now, especially with all the internet, the birth of the internet to the world of people, it's like you can get that little stupid teenage angst and multiply it by 1,000,000. And then it's like, I know people say, yeah, but the internet's been around for a long time now already, and it hasn't. And then it's like our generation, it kind of happened in the middle of it all, as opposed to we weren't born into it. Like,
no,
we weren't exposed to it like as if it's just, you know, that's life, like our kids are. So it's, you know, there's still a transition going on, the merging of the mind and the access to the internet and all that. It's just like the biggest fucking TV in the world that everyone gets to watch. And a lot of people don't understand it's just a show. Yeah. It's not real. All of this people are just, you know, people say, why is the world dumber? It's not dumber. It's just you've more fucking people messing that are getting their shit out there. They're just having a laugh. They're just, you know, oh, I can do special effects. Look at this alien coming into the garden. It's not real. It's just someone showing you how good they are doing special effects. You know what I mean? Sure. So it's like, there's that education that everyone has to take on the responsibility to do, to be aware of these things, and it's a brilliant apparatus to use to your benefit, whatever it is you want to do. But don't be thinking it's real life, because it's not. It's just a tool, an instrument for you to create something and have fun with. Maybe make some money out of it, make a living, which will give you time to do what you love to do. But don't be thinking that's the world. It's not. It's just a fucking tool.
No, this is very interesting. I've been sitting the last few days and writing the piece for the new edition, for the new issue, and I was thinking what to write, and I just thought maybe instead of like a historical article about historical things, but maybe I write something about. So I came up with a thing like a sport for sport's sake, and there is a few bitter words in the article, but I said exactly what you say about just pursuing the perfection and pursuing it just whatever you look, especially at the social media, there is a kind of urge and strive towards the perfection, and it's very falsified view.
Of course it is. Perfection's an illusion. It's a mental illness. You know what I mean? Look at your fucking. Look at yourself. We don't even understand the human fucking body. You're telling me we've been around on this planet for X amount of fucking thousands of years, and it's only the last 5,000 years we woke up to shit? Get the fuck out of there. Even when I used to be a teenager, because we used to get this Sunday newspaper, and it was like a lot of newspaper and magazines, and there was culture, fashion, business, property, and all this stuff. It was very expensive, and I used to love getting it. Whenever I opened it up and you see the date, it always kind of scratched my brain. Straight off the bat, I don't believe the date on the paper, the year, nothing. There's something dodgy. And then I used to love reading history, And I always found, I don't know, there's something not fucking quite right.
Yeah,
it just didn't sit well with me. And it's like, how can we be getting, more advanced, but it's based on things we're finding out about that is way older. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we found out today that actually this is more likely true than this. And I'm like, you hear all these fucking guys talking their theories, and theories now are being spoken of as if they're facts. How the fuck did that happen? Where's the responsibility there again? Lacking, big time. Or the Big Bang. No, that's a theory. You should finish that sentence with the Big Bang theory.
Yeah.
The evolution theory. It can't be proven on every ground. It's like you take a bird and you said, okay, so extrapolate that to the rest of the fucking species of every kind, and that's what it's not. You don't know shit. You know nothing about nothing. And then they're on about, I just found there'd be winters when I'd go onto all these rabbit holes on the internet, and I'd be just look for documentaries about everything and anything, just to kind of pursue a curiosity.
Yeah.
And the more I see, the more I'm like, it's all bullshit. There's something really fucking wrong with everything, and it's just you can't hang your fucking hat on any of it. Like
that's the thing. Whenever you even look for your people, actually it's a very social.
it's great.
So people, you shoot with them, you go with them, you talk with them every time, and you have that impression that I know this guy. And then you start to make your mind about this person, and you start to talk to other person about this one, a particular person, and then unless you come to the realization that you don't know this person at all because you only shoot with this person few hours once a week or something, like you can do it 10 years even, but you don't know this, you don't know who you with who you are. You can't go and easily claim that this person is this or this person is this, or there is a lot of things. Whenever the social aspect comes into play, it's always like a quasi politics and gossip, and those are two things that they're killing there.
But even if you stand in front of a mirror by yourself and look in the mirror and say, I know you fucking don't.
No, you don't.
You think you do, but you fucking don't. Because there'll be some times where you get the thoughts that come into your mind, you'll be like, where the fuck did that come from? That's dark. Or, you ever get those familiar dreams, I suppose you could call them, where you wake up from what you feel is a different reality and you've woken up into a dream. So then you're kind of confused and you're like,
lucid dream, something like
what the fuck is this dream? And because it was so real, it was so fucking real, it starts fucking with your perception of what is supposed to be reality, which I have a few questions. Me and reality don't get on that well because I think it's a lying bastard, to be honest. And it's like I can go to the process of how I paint a painting in what you might call the flow, and I can sit with that in my mind and question it and get lost in it and philosophize about it, and still I'm nowhere near. At the end, you're just laughing out loud because I fucking haven't a clue. I haven't a clue what it's all about, but I'm enjoying it. So it's like you start to kind of, you disregard these universe-sized problems that came out of questions that no one seems to fucking care about answering, because everyone seems to be distracted by the survive. Get the bills paid, get the fucking house, get the kids off to college, blah blah blah. I don't know, I'm not satisfied with that philosophy or that approach. I don't like that. I think it's, it's just bullshit. It's bullshit. It's like you're in a cell in your head, and you've been just programmed by a program. You know that you're being programmed, and you're saying, I'll just go along with it. Whereas if you start questioning it, you're kicked out of society. You're made to be the crazy in the corner, like, oh, no, go over there. They don't even cut their grass. They're fucking tapped. It's still so base, the mentality. I mean, look at politics for a perfect example. You know for a fucking fact, all over the world, that whole idea is a broken idea.
No, it is broken.
It's a fucking broken idea, and you know in your heart of hearts they could be the best person in the world, but once they get into a position of power,
It gets corrupt.
the machine fucks with them, and they're taken over, and it's like there's too many shadows, way too many, and it's like you don't have to be a freaking genius to see it, and they've devised all these things now where to repel that line of questioning from everybody by making you the weirdo or the tinfoil hat individual or the extremist, and it's like, you know, what the fuck? Why are people taking it? There's more people than these fuckers. So why are they accepting it? In this day and age, these are things that just pop into my head. And I'm like, fuck that.
I think it's just because the people
They just want to have that good life.
yeah, that's true.
Have the barbecue. Why not? Enjoy yourself. Do what you love doing and be good at it. Get better at it and express it and inspire others to do the same. That's all people fuck with. It's very simple what people want, you know. But these fucks come along and they try to dictate this fucking these ideologies on them. Well, if you don't do X, Y, and Z this way, you're a problem. And I say to that, give me my bow. Shoot this fucker.
But many people are not rebelling against this because it's what I say. It's just full soup bowl mentality. Whenever you have roof over your head, the warm soup in the bowl, proverbial one, and nothing to really no one to really force you to do the things you don't want to do. I'm not saying like paying bills or taxes or anything, but the things, forced labor or anything. If you have this illusion of steady,
safety,
and safe life, you're likely to do and to obey and to do a lot of things. You even don't really think straight. Even like with the COVID, the longer the far we from it now, the more things you just realize why I followed it, why I did that, I did. You start questioning yourself because you have a perspective. Whenever you look only for the just a narrow piece of the reality, like your
and that's all we're giving. We're only giving the
yeah.
keyhole. We're not opening the door.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think I don't blame people about this. Because people are just what they want is just to pass through life. But sometimes you waking up and then it's very terrifying because you see everything different around, and and then you start realizing, oh, people look at you like you said, like you're weird or like you are.
And you shouldn't worry a fuck about that.
Not indecent, but like you're an aggressive person or something because you just simply don't agree with some terms.
So, how you doing?
So far. Okay.
So tell me this: would the magazine not consider doing a podcast, a once a month kind of thing, where you guys, the core three of you guys, are just like sitting down and discussing stuff for an hour? Although if one is there, it might go on for 3 hours.
Actually, what we were thinking is to just have people as well on the podcast.
Of course,
but we would start to do it like on the festival. We're going to launch it first, and as we going to have a interview podcast tent there, and I don't know if it will work with us, but maybe we're going to try to run the even live podcast on the festival, so it'll be something interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
because I'd be like, I know you gotta meet some criteria to stream live onto YouTube. You need to have, I don't know, because again, my buddy was on to me about the whole social media thing, and he goes, so you know you have to do all of these things. I goes, I'm not even looking at that. I don't care. And he goes, so why are you doing it? Because I want to do it. I'm drawn to it, and I enjoy it, and it's fun. And he goes, so you're doing the social media thing, but it's nothing to do with the social. Because yeah, pretty much. So it's a contradiction of a sort. But again, it's what's on the can means nothing. If there's something in it that I can use, I will use it. But it's on my terms, not on their terms. You know what I mean? If they'll facilitate it, so I have somewhere to store it, super. But it's you can't be going in there thinking like, this is how it's done. No, you look and say, I can use that. It's like Owen when he's looking at his old bust up cars in the garage, say, I can use that for this. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's going to fix that and drive it. He goes, well, I need this over here because that's where my energy is right now. And I need these bits and bobs, but I can get them out of that machine over there. So he'll just take spare parts and, you know, that's all you're doing all the time. And it keeps you on your toes. So I like it. It's fun. It's hard to explain it when you sit down and if someone quizzes you, if someone has like questions for you, you're like, in a way, you're kind of thinking, I know what you want, but your questions are the wrong questions. So if you just stop asking me questions and let me talk, I'll try my best to explain what it is, how I'm approaching it and why and all of that. And then if the person is just, you know, open to that, they'll get everything they want and more probably. Because when they go in with this predisposed idea of how to question someone, that's never going to you're never going to get what you want. That's why I don't like having interviews. I like conversations. No phone, no texting smaller people. You're totally focused on the person in front of you.
Yeah.
And you see where it goes, you know what I mean? You're two fucking people in a room, across from the table, and surely by the God, you knock a bit of crack out of it. You know, have a conversation, have a laugh, and no script. Just see where it goes. And don't over edit shit. Just edit out getting in there and leaving. Everything else, it's good for me. Leave it there. Because I have a theory about that, the way you'll move, the way you look around the room, both of you. It's like there's if you're to look at it like you're a mass of these lines, curving lines, moving lines, like two shadows of light with all this stuff move. Every little move you make, every little utterance, at this, at that, whatever, there's always something indicating it.
Yeah.
And if you were to visualize it and you're looking at it from afar, it's like there's this fucking dance, like smoke, interacting with each other. And it's like, didn't imagine electricity going through that. It'd be fucking cool painting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So actually, I had this idea now for some time. It's just like, it doesn't stay in my head long enough. Like, it's gone. Fuck. It'd be cool.
You're very lucky about the podcast yourself because you have a great place here. And
Did you make it?
I think the place it's one of the turtle success maybe even hard sometimes because it's just if you have a area where you can get people in and this is very.
But you have to be careful. You don't want some crackpot coming along, you know, who's got some fucking damaged fucking ideas and then like they know where I live. Fuck, you know what I mean? But even if I mean, when I was thinking I was going to build a studio for my paintings, and I had it written down. I had like a circle in the middle of a page, studio, and then after that, paintings. Play my guitar, somewhere to go play my guitar and scream my head off and write my songs. And then I have another line coming off, podcasts. Why podcasts? To talk about paintings. And that's another way of getting it out there. A way I'll enjoy and where I'm not kind of buffered into this bandwidth where I have to behave in a particular way. Or you can just be you and do what you do and say, there you go. And give people a background that you're genuinely, this is what you do. Because a lot of people who might like your work and might want to buy your work might be thinking, is this actually even the guy painting the fucking pens? Do you know what I mean? A lot of scams going on. So it's just to give a reassurance that, yeah, this is what I do. This is my everyday. And here, I have it on video. You know what I mean? But it just took on a life of its own. And instead of trying to say, no, I'm only having artists in for chats and that's all. Because it's in my art studio, what else would you be doing? Because it's your art studio and it's your idea And if other people are fucking willing to come and give you their time and their conversation,
Yeah, good. And
green light everything. So I'm like, yeah, why not? And it's kind of just, just go with it. See what happens. It's, you make friendships out of it. It's cool, like.
Yeah.
So it's, and the archery then, because when I started going into the competitions then, only this year, because we started last July, I started going to the Galty Archery Club. And it's just been, it was a struggle going just to get your form and understanding of the whole thing and understand your whole passion for it, and then try to rein it in a bit so you might learn something instead of being like ahead of everything in your own head and tripping. But you go to the competitions, like you said, it's a social thing. You meet people, and then you talk, and the next thing you've someone in from that, and then you have another one in from that, and then it starts with archery, but it goes somewhere else, behind your magazine.
No, but because what I was thinking and what I see now is, I did not realize this before we started doing this magazine, but if you look at the archery, like the word sport doesn't fit the description. It's like one says, it's a pursue even more. It's just it's a way of living, and
like the samurai.
And the funny thing is to be involved within a community. You don't necessarily even shoot. I know people. I know a lady. Last time I saw her with a bow, maybe in 2019, just before the COVID, and then she's not shooting, but she's helping with every shoot. She's helping with the national events. She's helping with the club events. She's doing the thing about the child protection for the whole federation. She prepare all the documents, all the legal work.
Well, it takes a village,
It's just, you have a lot of people doing stuff, not necessarily involving the shooting projectiles, but
equally as important.
Yeah, they're equally important, and they have the same say like people who goes every day for every week to compete, or even to compete outside of the country. You need these people in order to run this circus. Like I said, you need these kind of people. You need the people that and this lady, she's giving all herself now, just to push it, improve it.
Involved,
Even small things like a catering for the people that they coming for the shoot, cakes, everything.
Speaking of cakes, man, did you take the cake down in Dunbrody? Fucking hell, I was like, I gotta stand way over there, it was too nice. Because I was thinking I'm going to end up looking like a jelly baby. Because I'll just eat all that cake, it was delicious. It was just delicious. Whoever did that cake in Dunbrody, fucking awesome.
No, because people just, ladies or the men, sometimes they sitting 2-3 days before the shoot, and they're doing the bakings, doing this.
Yeah.
It's just, we have the guy in this archery, Nick Kavanagh. He's doing every time we have a shoot or something, he usually do the soup, and it's very good thing. It's very refreshing, very filling up, and sometimes it's kind of spicy or something, but it's just, whenever you try it, you know straight it's his.
Yeah.
And I was joking with Owen one day and says to him, the people probably not going for the soup, but
for the soup.
Yeah, but for the soup, it's amazing, and it just you can't imagine some things. You go to Mayo, for example. Did you ever go to Mayo? Mayo, they have only 2 shoots during the year. One in autumn, one in spring. But there's a fellow there, Anthony, and he works in Foxford with like a cake factory, and but he's doing his cakes as well. If you go there, it's just plenty of sweets, cakes, and the stuff. It's just the sugar bomb for the children.
Yeah.
But you go there, and I'm betting. I'm quite sure some people are just going for these cakes. It's worth to go to 250, almost 300 kilometers.
For a cake.
Just for these cakes.
It's all encompassing. Like, you know, it's like how many times I've only gone to, I think, 4 competitions so far. I'm going to one in Cork now next Sunday. But you know, you'd be getting your stuff ready the day before, kind of, and you go right, and then you have like a packed lunch and a flask and all of that. Sometimes you forget it, and when you arrive on, then you realise, oh, brilliant! It's catered for.
Yeah.
You don't have to bring, but I don't know. That's just why I want to bring shit with me, even if I'm bringing it home anyway. I'll give it to the dogs, but it's just in my head. You got to be self-sufficient, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just the way it is. But it's it's a big effort on many people's part to make it work.
For that, I think that if you try to narrow it only to the sport first, that's this my piece which I was writing about the sport for the sport's sakes. It's never the sport for the sport's sakes. It's much more. It's just it's so big that it turns. We're almost like a bow and arrow samurai. That's like you said. That's the way of living, and for many people, it is a true way of living.
But I'll tell you how brilliant it is that it'll accommodate an opportunity for sport. And in sport, while it's sport, it is you to achieve better. It's an opportunity for you to achieve better and be recognised. So it's like, it's nearly it's just another avenue of the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like, if I paint and I paint and I paint, I'm not going to put them under the fucking bed. I want people to see them, see what they think, see, you know, if they can engage. And it's just a human thing, you know, when you get good at something, you want to share it.
Yeah, so whatever you do, however you do, people shouldn't look at you and say, oh, he shouldn't have to say about this because he's not shooting, or he shouldn't talk about organizing the things because he's only shooting, for example.
Yeah. Everyone is involved. Everyone has a perspective.
Everyone has their perspective, and everyone. I think what makes it so great and so cool and so nice that we can all do it together.
Yeah.
And sometimes even if you have differences with some people don't like each other very much. They don't like to shoot with it. But if it comes to do something together, I don't know, to pursue some project or even the thing like festival or anything, I'm eager to work with the people even I don't really like. It's almost sometimes like in the army. When you're in the army, when you're a soldier, so you work sometimes with people you even hate. You just don't like them, but you make things work together.
You sacrifice, yeah.
Yeah, and I see this. I saw this a few times here. People even don't like each other. They're in the one committee, but they have their differences. They put them apart, and they do the stuff. They do the job. They make it happen, and then they curse at each other again. But what I like about this community here, it's just people can find a way to do things together, even if they don't very fond of each other. And it's very rare. If you look in the big scope, big perspective, it is rare because usually people, if they don't have likings to each other, they just fight each other. They just
you need to kind of bigger picture kind of time, you know. I mean, when we worked on Brody first time there last Sunday, first of all, the course is brilliant, and then it was like the sit down area is like a little picnic, a big picnic, and you know you're talking to people you've never met, and you're having a great time, great conversations, and you're having a laugh. It's a great environment to be. It's a great way to kind of spend your time, I suppose. You know what I mean? It's a productive way. It's a fun way, and you're getting something new all the time. In Limerick was the same. I find whenever we go to all these places, you're constantly taking notes in your head. Like,
Limerick is a very good place. They had last year they had the CIFA championship, and it was so well organized, so well made, but like a spirit of it. It was something it's really hard to even describe what there was. Although I should, but it's really hard. You have to be there
Yes.
to feel it. The weather was bad. 2 days almost. 2 days of raining, but no one cared. People were at the tents. Some people were almost, swimming. The water was in the tent. But there was a fire almost all night. People were sitting, chatting. The children were doing the marshmallows. Some of us
great harmony.
Roasting the sausages on the fire. But it was so fun and so nice. And the camp base was a little bit farther from the general picnic area.
Yeah.
So you could have children if you have
the best of both worlds.
They can go sleep earlier. It wasn't very loud or anything. So it was I think it was the best shoot I ever was. Really. I like many places. I like many, but this one it was something about the spirit. That's what I talk so often, and you could feel it. Another one was kind of similar. It was a national championship at IFAF national championship at Ashgrove. Ashgrove is a club. It was a club with SIFA and IFAF as well. So both of the associations, but Ashgrove is just disbanded this year, sadly, because it was one of the nicest places to shoot as well, and the people were very nice as well. And I have some kind of impression that that was the club that been linking and holding all the clubs in SIFA as well. But sadly, there was some problems in the woods. I don't know exactly what, but they decided to close the club. And in my opinion, it's a pity. And
it's a lot of work to get a club going. I'd say, especially to find the woods for the club, and there's a lot of fucking work in it.
It is, yeah. Even if you do the shoot, for example, like you in Limerick or in Leash now, there's some clubs, they have not 1 but 2 or 3 or 4 courses.
Yeah.
But it never comes within 1 week, 1 month or something. It involves a year's work and years planning. And whenever something's happened, then so your few years' work blows away.
Yeah.
So it has to be very hard on the people from Ashgrove. But I hope they're going to revive and they're going to come back someday. Because I'm quite sure, because they're very resourceful people as well.
Well, what I think you just need more of it, of what's going on. It's a great thing. I'm delighted that we've found a club, because when myself and Lucy started into archery many years ago, we couldn't find anything, to get involved in, I suppose. And then the kids come along, and that's kind of knocked on the head. But then last July we kind of got back into it, and it's been super. It's
a phenomenon of its own, I'd say, in my opinion. I remember very well just the humble beginnings. I remember the pictures Dave, he was putting up the dog kennels. Did you see them?
Yeah.
He started things from the scratch. Nobody was helping him at all.
I see with Dave now, even because I'm now the pro in the club. Don't know how that happened, but so we've a new committee kind of now, and my brother's in it, I'm in it, and some other members of the club in it, obviously. But you can see that he's been doing it from scratch by himself for so long. It's nearly hard for him to kind of surrender certain jobs, if you will.
Yeah, I know. It's same with me. I have to say.
I can totally understand it, but it is a testament. I mean, it's still a young club, and it's got great potential.
What I really like about the Galti, and it's, in my opinion, is many clubs they want to do what he did. he did not turn it into the club. He turned it into a vision, and he turned the vision into an idea. And whenever Galti goes somewhere, they never goes you or any, there goes the club.
Yeah.
There goes the club. There, there goes the like community pack of people, but organized and with a certain goal.
Yeah.
To show the club, to promote the club, to shoot for the club.
Yeah.
Whenever people have achievements from the Galti, like Sean or anyone else shoots the goal on the competition, it always goes on the Facebook. It always says, "Oh, congrats." Dave says, "Oh, this is the congrats, Sean. He got this or this or this."
Yeah.
It's just. It's not only the assembly of people. It's just, I think, it's a fabric of people. If you know what I mean, it's almost like a living organism of its own. The club, and this is very rare here because usually the clubs in Ireland, they are assembly of individual archers.
Yeah.
They're not the one big living organism, the entity of its own. And the Galti is entity of its own.
Yeah, well,
the way how I see it, and this is many clubs now wants to mimic it because
well, it's
it
simple.
works.
Don't be so fucking precious. Just go in there and have the banter and take the piss out of each other, and that's how you actually you gel and you get that kind of familiarity that people want. You just fucking stop being so precious about yourself and just get on with it and have the laugh. You know, when I was going there to start, I was like focused like a lunatic on just getting my shots off and fucking getting better faster. And because you hear them say, "Oh, it took me 7 years," I goes, "Fuck that." I needed like tomorrow. So I was focused on that. But then once I broke through and I was like, okay, I can do this relatively okay now, I've somewhere to start. Once I got to a base, we'll say, where I felt comfortable enough to work on, then I'll engage with the people there. And then once I started to engage with the people there, it just, things kind of happen faster for me, because you're just more relaxed or whatever, and you just get over yourself, you know what I mean? Just fucking see for what it is, it's something to enjoy, you know, stop overthinking shit. And you start taking the piss out of people then, and the comedy comes into it, and you're going home in the car and you're having these laugh out loud moments because you just remembered something that was said in the club about someone, you know what I mean? To their face. There's no bitchiness there. There's just fucking have to laugh and just get good at what you do. It's great. I love going there.
I think that what I see is, especially the young clubs like Galti or the new one now in Galway, Lochria, and few clubs that they actually evolve. They change the skin almost like a snake is changing the skin, like Van Bomen, for example. There was a club. I like to go there. Some people like to, but they seem have there was not many people going to the shoots, and there is no apparent reason for it. But then came James and Gino, and they started to change the things. They started to motivate people differently. They started they changed it a whole lot. And now the Van Bomen is one of the most popular clubs in Ireland.
It just takes personality.
50, 60 people or 70 sometimes on the shoot in one go from 20.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
See, in Ireland there used to be this thing, you could call it begrudgery. So if you don't want to see anyone doing fucking better than you kind of thing. You know, you see, it's just instilled in the fucking nation. But if you just fucking see, when I see something happening and it's a benefit, you try to fucking nurture that. You know what I mean? But not directly, because you don't want to scare it away there. It's like you're trying to catch a talent and nurture it. Some people have people skills that they don't even realise. And by being there, they can just stitch a whole community together. And when everyone just accepts that, good things happen, you know what I mean? Good things can happen very easily, very quickly.
But what I say, every club needs the wall, what, it's just literal expression, but the workhorse engine.
Yeah.
And like for example, in Leash, we have a lot of people who's doing, but there is a core of the club.
Yeah.
10, 15, 20 people, and they show up always. They do always job. They do the things. You need the good chairman, for example, or the chairperson, or the president of the club, however you call him. But this person needs to be there, and it's almost 24 hours job.
Yeah. It's a vocation.
Yeah, like we have. That's the English Nick Anton. I don't know how he's managing to do it. He has his own job and he's running the club, the biggest club now in Ireland, over 100 people.
Alright, I got into trouble over this now with a particular archer last weekend. I might have, when I was talking with Owen, in a funny kind of way, like, wasn't serious. And I said, oh yeah, sure, look, isn't Laois the best club in Ireland? This guy lost his fucking mind. He goes, wait a minute, we're the best club in Ireland. I was okay. If you were sitting in front of me, I'd have said that, but you weren't. Owen was, so I just went with it. It was only a tickle. Get over it. But it was funny when he was telling me, like, I won't mention his name. He should know who he is. But it was very funny. I didn't think, because that's another thing. When I start going to the shoots now, the competitions, and someone come up and say, listen, that fucking thing you said about that club that time, I don't like it. And it's funny. It's just, you just don't anticipate people getting engaged and stuff.
Yeah, but on the other side, if you look at these, like these, people can like what you say or not like what you, but it doesn't change the reality.
No, it doesn't.
Somebody's liking, you may have wish to do something, or to be the biggest, or to be the best, or the longest, whichever.
Whatever
it's
it is,
just the est. And but reality is how it is. It's just the thing, and especially with the archery or any other sport, you don't even look. If you look for the biggest groups, okay, is biggest the best? Or the best is the people that gets the most medals.
Well, the best is the archery is getting more and more. It's growing.
Yeah,
and that's the winner. You know what I mean? That is the true winner at the end of the day, and long may it continue. Because when people come up and they'll start saying, "I didn't like what you said," thing, I'm like, "Great, come on in and talk about it."
Yeah, same.
You know what I mean? It's an open door. Come on in and explain. We'll have a conversation about that. And I'm happy to have a new face in front of me and just learn something new about them and just get a different perspective. And then just try to have a laugh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, same with the magazine. If you don't like the article, come on, write your piece, engage.
Yeah.
Start the discussion. And
I'd be thinking if I sent in something that would be sent back to me corrected. Like an English teacher.
No, it's just, we're not doing this. Sometimes we just we're rephrasing it, but the very rarely. Usually it's just like a misspells or something like this. Sometimes it's hard. What we're doing now is we just, if we have the number ready, so we go, we proofread. There is 4 or 5 of us, so we proofread 5 times, and it's eliminates all the typos, mistakes. But sometimes they slip through the fingers.
But I think it's good sometimes when they slip through the fingers, because it gives the voice a more of a distinctive, genuine flavour of where that's from in the country, if you know what I mean. Because you only go 5 kilometres down the road and someone's talking in a very different accent, and they have different sayings and stuff, and it identifies the location very quickly. So that's a good thing, because the more you read, the more that they're come in and you print, say, someone will know that is from that part of the country, and so you know what I mean. It shows up that there's a geography to it. It's not just an isolated place over here that's doing all the talking. That it's a community, and that everyone's getting their little moment to say, well, I think you're full of shit now, and this is what I think, and they tell you, and it's fun, you know. See, guidelines can fuck that up sometimes. You say, oh, we can't print that. Jesus, we can't print that. We're getting into trouble.
If we have the guidelines even on the website there for people to write, it's usually says what format we use, how we format in the thing, what.
You honestly think everyone's reading that? It's like when you get the fucking thing from IKEA, the instructions are, fuck that, over the shoulder it goes, and you say, let's figure it out.
For example, it says, don't send the things in PDF, because PDF is very hard to format for us. Whenever you're sending something, it's better to send as a normal document, Word document, whichever. PDF, it's very hard to extract.
And what about, would someone not just write something on a page and post it to you?
Yeah, we have that as well.
Yeah, I like that idea.
We have block facility, and whenever you want to do it, you can put it. It'll be checked before, but you can put it, but you need to register it on the site.
Mm.
It's free. It takes 2-3 minutes, just and then you can have your part of the blog, and you can put your post in.
All right.
Yeah, that's very easy. Not many people are using this, but we have few people that were.
Come on, people, use it. For fuck's sake. You know, you give us something free and they're like, I don't want it. Charge me money and I'll get it.
I know that many people they're thinking.
Should look at U2 that time when they put a free album on some fucking thing, and there was an uproar like, how dare you put that on my goddamn phone? Get that shit off. And they can be U2 fans, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people are funny. People are just it's a constantly evolving, changing thing, and then at the same, it's contradictions all over the place, you know.
If you look even for the advertisements, I was just looking at the adverts involving or including archery pictures.
Yeah.
From the 30s up to the 90s, beginning of the 90s, because now it's not very. But then what I find, it was a lot of adverts, like a shoe polish, for example,
right.
or the car tires or anything, and in the backdrop, in the background of the picture, you have the guy with the bow, or I don't know, men's shave or anything. It's totally disconnected, but the archery was kind of popular and kind of thing that they were attracting attention.
Yeah, exactly. The numbers were there.
Yeah, the beers or
it's all about eyes on it.
But when you look at this advertisement, you go very quick. You go into a realization that especially at the 50s and the 60s, if you associate these two things, that you can come to conclusion that most archers were either smokers or drinkers, or both of them at the same time, because
I needed tires to get there. No, but that's it. I mean, once the numbers show up, all kinds of advertisers show up. It doesn't matter what the fuck. There could be absolutely the only relation is the numbers.
Yeah.
They see the numbers, they want eyes on the prize, and they pay you to get it. And hey, it's a winner for those. Everyone involved, really. But that's just the machine at work, you know.
No, some of them, it shows the way as well. If you look at the adverts, especially, because they're almost like a mirror of how people were thinking, what they were liking. But
is it? I don't think it is. It's more of a mirror of the business models that were in play at that time, because the people in the picture shooting the fucking bow and arrow might have nothing to do with anything there. Like you said, it's like, remember that advert that was done with the fucking gorilla on the drums? It was over chocolate. What the fuck has that got to do with chocolate? And Phil Collins' song In the Air Tonight, brilliant song. As a visual thing to watch and enjoy, it was a home run. I enjoyed watching. I thought, fuck, that's brilliant. What's it about? No one I'd say Phil Collins' album sales went through the roof after that commercial. But no one knew it was about chocolate. I certainly didn't until like maybe a year later when they were doing a review over, this commercial won the best.
Yeah, but you would find many of these old commercials now, or the adverts, you would find them today offensive. Very offensive, or racist even. Or
that depends on you. Are you going to be precious about shit?
No.
Come on, look at humans, okay? Look at the history of humans. Don't be fucking stupid. Don't be trying to present this picture that we're this perfect fucking saint of
I
a
know,
fucking
you see,
body. We're animals at the end of the fucking day, and if you're going to be true to that, some shit's going to happen.
No,
It's
it
going to
wasn't my
upset
thought,
people.
but it's just very interesting to see how our likings and acceptance is changed through the not
Change.
very long pass of
It's
time.
forced, I
It's
think.
just maybe forced, maybe changed, but it's changing because you wouldn't have the same adverts like you had.
The only thing that
50
changes
years
is the
ago.
fucking clothes, buddy. The beast is still the beast. End of.